Shalom. Welcome to Har Zion Temple's weekly video message. I'm Rabbi Michael Knopf. It's wonderful to be with you. One of the great lessons from the Exodus is that from the mightiest Pharaoh to the lowliest servant, every single individual matters, has value, has dignity and worth. And that is also one of the messages that I learned from this week's parashah, Matot-Mas'ei. And I want to focus on Mas'ei, which at the beginning of the parashah lists out all of the stations of the Israelites wandering in the wilderness. Where did they start from? Where did they go? When did they leave there? Where did they go next? It's a laundry list of locations. And then there's an unusual break in that list to offer one other piece of information. In chapter 33, verse 40, it says, Vayishma Knaani melech Arad v'hu yoshev b'negev be'eretz Canaan bevo b'nei Yisrael. The Canaanite king of Arad heard that the Israelites were coming, and he was dwelling in the Negev in the land of Canaan. Now this is an unusual insertion for a couple of reasons. The first is it's not like the rest of the narrative at all. It's not one of the stations of the wandering in the wilderness. The second is that it is old information. We've already seen this story in Numbers when the Israelites encounter the king of Arad, who takes captives from among the Israelites, and the Israelites wage war against the king of Arad to take those captives back and redeem them. And the third reason that it is unusual is that it's the only battle mentioned in this list of the Israelites wandering in the wilderness. If this text wanted to tell us some of the adventures that the Israelites had in the wilderness, why only this battle? What's special, what's important about this battle that makes it unique in the telling of the story of the Israelites wandering? To answer that question, I think we need to go back to where the story is earlier in the book of Numbers. And what Rashi and some of the other commentators tell us about that story is that the captive that the king of Arad took was actually just one person. And not only was it just one person, but it was a shifcha, a female slave. Perhaps in the hierarchy of the ancient world, the lowest of the low. And nevertheless, the Israelites engage in a brutal and bloody battle specifically for the purpose of going back into enemy territory and redeeming this lowly female maidservant. And if that is true, then the reason that the story is alluded to in our parashah, where it lists out the wanderings of the wilderness, from Egypt to Canaan, from slavery to the promised land, because it reminds us that the point of that journey was to build the kind of society that would go after even the lowest servant. And the message is, in the wanderings of the Israelites, no individual was left behind. Everyone mattered. Everyone was important. From the mightiest Pharaoh to the lowliest servant. And the Exodus means nothing if the Israelites fail that test. And similarly for us in the wanderings of our life. I bless us that we learn the lesson of the Israelites, that we know that our promised land is dependent on us realizing the infinite value and dignity of every human being, and that we too leave no one behind. Shabbat Shalom.